There's a particular kind of disappointment that comes with a garden border that is not working. You know the feeling. You walk outside on a Saturday morning with your cup of tea or your coffee, you look at the beds along the fence or the edges of the lawn, and instead of feeling that quiet pleasure that a garden is supposed to give you, that exhale, that sense of green and growing things and order and beauty all working together, you feel something closer to mild defeat. The border is there, the plants are there, but somehow the whole thing looks unfinished, scrappy, like it is trying to be something and not quite making it. And you cannot always put your finger on exactly what is wrong, which makes it even more frustrating because you cannot fix what you cannot name. What if I told you that in almost every case, almost every single garden border that looks unfinished and disappointing and somehow not quite right, the problem is not the plants? The plants are usually fine. Sometimes they are wonderful. The problem is the structure around the plants, the edging, the definition, the material that separates the planted area from the lawn or the path or the gravel and tells the eye, this is the border. This is where the design begins. This is intentional and considered and made by someone who thought about it. And here's the extraordinary thing about that problem. The solution does not cost what you might think it does. The solution is not a trip to the garden center for expensive stone edging, or a contractor to lay new path materials, or a complete redesign of the entire garden. The solution is sitting in your shed, in your garage, in the stack of old stuff along your back wall, in skips and salvage yards, and the neighbor's garden clearance pile. The solution is repurposed wood and repurposed materials, old things given a new purpose in a new place. And the results, when it is done with even a small amount of thought and intention, are so beautiful, so characterful, so genuinely right-looking, that people walk into your garden and think you hired someone. You did not hire someone. You just learned something. And today that is exactly what we are going to do. Before we get into the materials and the methods, I want you to understand something about garden borders that changes the way you see them completely and makes everything that follows make perfect sense. A garden border is not just a practical thing. It is not just a way of stopping the lawn growing into the flower bed or keeping the gravel from spilling onto the grass. It is a visual line. And visual lines in a garden do the same thing that lines do in any design. They create structure, they create hierarchy, they tell the eye where to go and where to stop and what to pay attention to. A border with no clear defined edge is like a painting without a frame. The content might be beautiful, but without the frame, the eye does not know how to see it. It does not know where the artwork begins or ends. It drifts, it loses focus, and the whole thing feels somehow less than it should. When you add a clear, well-placed, visually interesting edge to a garden border, even using the simplest repurposed materials, you do something that goes far beyond the practical function of that edge. You give the eye a line to follow, you create a visual journey through the garden. You make the planted areas look like they were placed deliberately rather than just happening to be where they are. And you make the lawn or the path or the gravel beside the border look better too, because a clearly defined edge on one side of a transition makes both sides of that transition look more resolved and more intentional. This is why garden edging, done right, done beautifully, done with materials that have character and warmth and a sense of having come from somewhere real, is one of the highest impact, lowest cost transformations available in any garden. The plants stay the same, the soil stays the same, the layout stays the same. But the edge changes and suddenly the whole garden looks like a different garden. Let us start with the material that is most widely available, most versatile, most forgiving to work with, and most immediately beautiful when used as garden edging. And that material is wood. Specifically, old wood, repurposed wood. Wood that has already been something and is now ready to become a garden edge. The most classically beautiful and widely used form of wooden garden edging is the log roll. Sections of round log or branch cut to a consistent length and pressed into the soil edge of the border in a continuous line. And the extraordinary thing about this is that you do not need to buy the expensive pre-made rolls from the garden center. You can make your own from almost any fallen branch, any old wooden fence post, any piece of timber that is thick enough to have some presence when it stands upright in the soil. Cut your sections to a consistent length. Anywhere between 15 and 30 centimeters is ideal depending on the depth of your border and the visual weight you want. Sharpen one end of each section slightly with a handsaw or a knife so it pushes into the soil cleanly and press them in side by side along the edge of your border. The result is immediate and beautiful. Warm, natural, completely at home in a garden environment. and so much more characterful than any plastic or thin metal edging product you could buy in a bag. Scaffold boards and sleeper-style timber offer a completely different aesthetic. Broader, flatter, more architectural, more deliberately structural, and they work magnificently as raised border edging. A single plank of thick reclaimed timber laid flat along the edge of a border, sitting just above the soil level, creates a clean horizontal line that defines the space clearly and adds visual weight and presence to the border in a way that thin edging never can. Two or three planks stacked horizontally, fixed together and driven into the ground at each end, create a mini raised bed effect that makes even a very flat garden feel more three-dimensional and more designed. Stack them straight for a contemporary look. Leave the ends proud and slightly irregular for a more rustic cottage garden feel. Both work. Both look intentional. Both cost almost nothing if you are sourcing your timber from salvage, skips, or your own stored materials. Old wooden pallets are perhaps the most universally available repurposed material in the world, and they are a genuinely extraordinary resource for garden edging and border structure when you know how to use them well. The key with pallets, and this is the insight that separates beautiful pallet gardens from the ones that look like building sites, is to use them in a way that plays to their inherent structure rather than fighting against it. The individual slats from a dismantled pallet cut to a consistent length work exactly like the log roll sections we described earlier. Pressed upright into the soil edge, side by side, they create a clean, continuous vertical edge that is warm and natural and completely at home in a garden setting. The slightly rough, weathered texture of old pallet timber is actually an advantage here, not a disadvantage. It reads as organic and genuine rather than manufactured and artificial, and it weathers further over time in a way that makes it look more beautiful rather than less. Whole pallet sections, a single half pallet standing on end and driven into the ground, can be used as border dividers, as the end walls of a raised section, or as decorative panels within a border. Paint them in a muted, natural exterior color, a warm gray, a soft sage green, a deep charcoal, and they become genuinely beautiful structural elements in a garden that cost you nothing but the price of a tin of paint and an afternoon of work. Leave them unpainted and weathered, and they develop a silver-gray patina over time that is one of the most naturally beautiful surfaces any garden material can produce. Beyond wood, there is a whole world of repurposed materials that make extraordinary garden edging, and I want to talk you through some of the most effective ones because they are often completely overlooked in favor of the conventional options, and the results they produce are genuinely surprising. Old roof tiles are one of the great unsung heroes of garden border edging. The classic cottage garden technique of pressing old terracotta or clay tiles into the soil at an angle, either at 45 degrees in a running pattern or straight upright in a continuous line, produces an edge that is so beautiful, so naturally right-looking in a planted border, that it has been used in English gardens for centuries for exactly this reason. If you can find old handmade tiles rather than modern machine-made ones, the slight irregularities in shape and color make the edge even more beautiful. But any old roof tile will do the job magnificently. Look for them in salvage yards, on online marketplaces, and in the rubble of old building projects. Old bricks, half bricks, whole bricks, engineering bricks, old handmade bricks with soft, irregular edges and beautiful surface variation work equally well. Pressed upright into the soil in a continuous line along the border edge, they create a low, warm, solid, completely permanent-looking edge that instantly makes the garden feel more established and more considered. Laid flat in a soldier course, a single course of bricks laid end to end, they create a slightly more contemporary effect that works beautifully in modern or minimalist gardens. Mix the two techniques, upright bricks at the corners, flat bricks along the straight runs, and you create an edge with genuine complexity and visual interest that looks completely handcrafted and intentional. Glass bottles, wine bottles, old medicine bottles, beer bottles, pressed neck down into the soil create one of the most whimsical, characterful, and genuinely beautiful garden edges imaginable. The bottoms of the bottles, facing upward, catch and scatter light in ways that change through the day, glowing warmly in morning light and catching the evening sun in a way that makes the border edge look almost magical. Green bottles create a cool, botanical, slightly wild feel. Clear bottles maximize the light-catching effect. Brown bottles have a rich, warm, deeply garden-appropriate character. Mixed bottles create a cheerful, eclectic, cottage garden atmosphere. This technique costs absolutely nothing if you save your bottles, and the result is a conversation piece every single person who visits your garden will comment on. Now that we have the materials, let us talk about how to actually lay out a border edge in a way that looks genuinely designed rather than just placed. Because the difference between an edge that looks professional and one that looks like a DIY project is almost always in the preparation and the line making rather than in the materials themselves. The single most important thing you will do in the entire border edging process is establish your line before you place a single piece of material. A curved line that wanders without intention looks like a mistake. A curved line that sweeps with purpose and consistency looks like design. The difference between them is usually just 5 minutes with a garden hose or length of rope laid on the ground before you begin. Lay the hose along the proposed edge of your border and step back, all the way back to the far end of the garden, and look at the line from a distance. Adjust it until it looks right from that distance, not from close up. Border lines always look different from a distance than they do from above, and designing them from the correct viewing distance is what separates the edges that look planned from the edges that look accidental. Once your line is established and you are happy with it from a distance, mark it with a sharp spade or an edging iron, cutting a clean vertical edge into the turf or the path material. This cut edge is what your repurposed materials will sit against, and the sharper and cleaner this cut, the more professional the finished edge will look regardless of what material you use. The cut alone, before a single piece of edging is placed, makes the border look more defined and more intentional. Do not skip this step. With your line cut and your materials ready, work along the edge systematically from one end, setting each piece consistently and checking the top line regularly by eye. With upright materials like log sections, tiles, or bricks, the key is keeping the top line even. Small variations in height are inevitable and actually add to the handmade character of the edge. But dramatic dips and peaks where materials are sitting at very different heights look messy rather than rustic. Set each piece to the same approximate height, press it firmly into the soil or against the cut edge, and move on. With flat or horizontal materials like planks or scaffold boards, use a spirit level to check regularly that the top face is level along the run, and drive stakes into the ground behind the boards at regular intervals to hold them in place against the soil pressure from behind. Planning into and around your new border edge is where the whole thing comes together, and where the low-effort, high-impact principle truly delivers. Because the extraordinary quality of a well-defined border edge is that it makes whatever is planted inside it look better. The plants do not change. But the context they are given, the clear defined edge, the visual line, the sense of intentional structure, elevates them immediately. A jumble of plants inside a clearly defined edge looks like a considered planting scheme. The same jumble without an edge looks like weeds. Plant something low and spreading just inside the edge of the border. Creeping thyme, ajuga, Alchemilla mollis, small sedums, so that it softens the line of the edging material without obscuring it completely. The relationship between the hard edge of the repurposed material and the soft edge of the spreading plant is one of the most beautiful contrasts in garden design. Hard and soft, made and grown, permanent and seasonal. This contrast is what gives a garden border its depth and its life. Let a few self-seeders establish themselves in the gaps between your edging materials, between the log sections, in the joints between the bricks, in the spaces between the upright tiles. Herb Robert, Viola, Alchemilla, mind your own business. Plants that choose their own positions in the gaps of hard landscaping always look more natural and more beautiful than plants that were deliberately placed there, because they grow at the angles and in the positions that the gap allowed, and the result looks completely uncontrived. Maintenance of a repurposed material border edge is simpler than people expect, and honestly part of its appeal. Unlike expensive stone or manufactured edging products that need to look perfect to look right, repurposed wooden and material edges actually look better as they age. The wood weathers and silvers. The bricks develop moss in their joints. The tiles take on a patina that makes them look like they have always been there. The glass bottles accumulate a slight bloom that makes their light-catching quality even more beautiful. Time works for repurposed garden materials in a way it rarely works for manufactured products. Each season, the edge looks a little more established, a little more genuine, a little more like it belongs exactly where it is. Repoint any bricks that shift. Repress any timber sections that work loose after frost. Top up the soil behind any edging that has been undermined by rain or digging. These are 10-minute jobs, once a season, that keep the edge looking its best without demanding any significant ongoing investment of time or money. And every time you walk out of your back door on a Saturday morning with your cup of tea, you will look at those borders and feel something completely different from what you felt before. Not defeat, not mild frustration at something that is trying and not quite making it. Something quieter and warmer and more satisfying than that. You will feel the pleasure of a garden that has been given the structure it always deserved, with materials that were already there, with your own hands, for almost nothing at all. That is what a good garden border edge actually is. Not an expense, not a project, a gift you give your garden, and your garden will give it back to you every single morning. If this gave you the inspiration and the practical knowledge to transform your garden borders this weekend, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment telling me what materials you are using and which garden you are transforming. I read and reply to every single one. See you next video.